It's so awkward sitting on the toilet and being able to see somebody outside of that crack washing their hands, because the general rule of thumb in like video games is if you can see someone, someone can see you. Welcome back to Blanks No One Asked For, and in today's episode, I'll be reacting to 21 things in the U.S. that puzzle most foreigners. This video comes from the YouTube channel Brightside, and their link is down in the description. Also, shout out to our good friends, Mr. H and Friends, another YouTube channel that does reactions. He is a British guy reacting to all things US, as well as David Newland, who is an incredible musician over in the UK as well. Most of what I have learned about the UK and other parts of the world over the last 2 years have come from those two guys. So shout out to you, and their links are also in the description below. But before I waste any more time, let's go ahead and get into our reaction of 21 things in the US that puzzle most foreigners. And I'll be honest with you, some of this stuff about the US I might not even know because I didn't pay much attention in school.
Well, you may have lived in the United States your whole life without realizing that something totally normal for you seems bizarre to people from other parts of the world. Who knew that munching on fried pickles in a highly air-conditioned room was so outlandish? Well,
why is munching
here
on
are
fried
some
pickles in
other
an air-conditioned
highly
room
entertaining
outlandish? That sounds like a
Americanisms
good
I've
time to
gathered.
me.
Let's count it down from number 21. Sales tax is a guessing game. When you go shopping in the U.S. and see a price tag that says $14.88, don't expect to pay $14.88 at the register. Sales tax is not included in the price of an item, and since this tax can vary from state to state, figuring out...
Yeah, so this is one of the first things that I learned talking with Mr. H and David Newland. Apparently, in other parts of the world, as you're shopping, sales tax is included in the price tag. So if it says $15, that's what you're paying when you get to the register. However, over here, obviously, sales tax is not included until you get to the register, and it's tacked on at the end. So yeah, it can make for some interesting shopping if you're not very good at guessing sales tax.
This tax can vary from state to state. Figuring out your total can turn into the ultimate mental math challenge. In many European countries, the sales tax is already included in the price. It's known as a value-added tax, or VAT. Number 20. We're total workaholics. A lot of Americans don't feel the need to take long vacations, so they...
Well, I feel the need to take long vacations, but sometimes I just can't.
often let vacation and sick hours pile up without ever using them.
Nope, not me.
Plus, most employers only give you 2 weeks out of the year. But in a lot of other countries, like Brazil or Finland, workers are encouraged to take an average of 30 days of vacay.
Wow, nice.
Wow, maybe I should take some time off. Or perhaps I'll just keep waiting. 19. It's not a party without red Solo cups. In the States, this red plastic cup is synonymous with "party on, dude."
Yeah.
But other countries apparently don't recognize this cup to mean the same
What?
thing.
Oh, wait, hang on.
A few moments later.
Party on.
People in the UK, for example, don't use red Solo cups at get-togethers.
Interesting.
They have to go to a special website to purchase
American
the cups for
themed
American-themed
parties.com.
parties. Who knew?
Is that a real website?
Number 18. Deep-fried everything. Whether it's fried pickles or even fried Oreos,
Fried Oreos are the
America
bomb.
has it all. Fried fish recipes first appeared in Spanish and Portuguese cookbooks as far back as the 1200s, and the Greeks were frying food in olive oil way back in the 5th century BCE.
Wow.
But as America does with many things, they've adopted a tradition from far-off lands and took it up a notch, or 5. 17. Get everything you need right at the pharmacy. If you're not from the U.S., it may be puzzling to walk into a pharmacy and see aisles and aisles of over-the-counter meds, toys, makeup, clothes, and even groceries. Unlike in other countries where pharmacies sell medicine and medical supplies exclusively,
Oh, wow.
the ones in the U.S. are like small convenience stores.
Yeah, if you're not from around here, your CVS's, your Walgreens, these are like one-stop shops. Like you can get literally anything and everything there, from suntan lotion to a loaf of bread to toys to get your photos done at Walgreens. So yeah, wow, that's crazy.
Grab magazines, Tylenol, and a frozen pizza in one fell swoop. 16. Fill her up. In America, if a restaurant doesn't offer free refills on fountain drinks, it's kind of strange. But in other countries, once you buy one beverage, that's it.
Oh, wow.
France banned refills on sugary sodas back in 2017 in order to combat the current obesity epidemic.
Interesting.
But in the U.S., the idea of free refills is still alive and well. 15.
Yeah, free refills is like a given on sodas. Now, a lot of times, some of your specialty drinks, like if you get like a lemonade of some kind, like it's a strawberry lemonade, it's like homemade, they make it right there in the restaurant. Sometimes those won't be free refills, but yeah, your standard Mountain Dew, Dr. Pepper, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, all that stuff, like it's a given that that's going to be a free refill, and it's just kind of expected around here.
15. If you don't like it, return it.
Yep.
Whether it's an ugly sweater from grandma or a heinous pair of earrings from an ex, if you don't like it, you can just return it. In America, making returns at stores is pretty normal and super easy. I mean, the U.S. even has a National Returns Day in January, conveniently held for you to return holiday gifts you weren't too thrilled about.
So I'm interested, though, if it's just common that we return stuff over here. Like, is that not common in other countries? Like the UK, for example. I don't know that, I've ever had this conversation, but if you buy something and, you don't like it, or somebody gifts it to you and it's not something that you want, like, what do you do with it? Can you not just return it? Let me know down in the comments.
Tips for everyone. Cab drivers, servers, hairdressers, you gotta tip them. Tips are acceptable for almost any service in the U.S. and sometimes consist of 25% of the bill. We haven't started tipping surgeons yet, but there are places in other
We definitely don't need that.
such as Japan, that consider tipping incredibly rude, like
Oh,
in
wow.
restaurants. When you travel to different countries,
Rude?
it's important to learn their tipping etiquette so that you don't offend anyone.
I guess I'm just interested how that could be considered rude. And again, this is, not me being inconsiderate or anything. I'm just generally curious, because tipping is like something that you kind of have to do, because if you don't tip in America, it's considered rude. Like if you sit down and have a nice meal at a nice restaurant and you don't tip, you might not want to go back there, because they'll probably have your face posted in the kitchen area, like, don't serve this person.
I'll take my coffee to go. With a Starbucks on every corner, it's very
Literally.
normal to see people toting around a coffee as they shop, commute to work, and whatever else at all times of the day. But in many parts of the world, coffee is meant to be sipped on while seated and enjoying the paper or chatting with friends. Tugging your coffee along with you throughout the day might be due to the fact that the cups are huge and take longer to drink. Who's got that kind of time to be sitting in a cafe for hours? Sounds like fun to me.
Yeah, me
Number
too.
12, the land of ice-cold drinks. Now, speaking of drinks, if it's not a hot coffee or cocoa, then it's probably got ice in it. Tea, coffee, lemonade, soda, water. Americans like it on the rocks. If you go elsewhere in the world, odds are you'll be sipping your soda at room temperature, or maybe slightly refrigerated if you don't specifically ask for ice. Number 11.
No, which again, this is just my preference, in my opinion. Room temperature soda, it almost has too much of a bite to it when you try to drink it. And then room temperature water, I always see this post going around that people who really like to drink water drink at room temperature. I'm not much of a water drinker, but if I do drink water, it's gotta be cold. Like room temperature water just does not do it for me.
Keeping the AC on at all times. Americans must have an aversion to being hot. In many parts of Europe, people simply don't use air conditioning as much as they do in the States. Here, it's expected to always have the AC blaring, and a lot of visitors find it pretty strange and quite chilly. But come on, it makes sense. If you're cold, you can layer up. If you're hot, all you can do is suffer and complain about it.
Or take it off.
Number 10. Looking at dollars is a snooze fest. I remember going to Europe for the first time and thinking their banknotes look like Monopoly money. And I guess a lot of countries have bills of different colors and sizes depending on the value, like Swedish krona and Russian rubles. But not in the US. It's all greenbacks, baby.
Yeah.
Sure, 10s look a little yellowy, 50s are kind of pinkish, and Benjamins seem bluer than the others. But still, US dollars definitely aren't as fun and rainbowy as other currencies. Number 9. Giving a thumbs up. In America, even little kids know a thumbs up means good job, way to go, or anything positive like that. But if you travel to Greece or the Middle East and give this common American gesture, you probably won't make too many friends. Hey, how about giving this video a thumbs up for the useful tip?
So if it's not considered of good gesture, then what is it considered? Like if I were to walk up to somebody and give them a thumbs up, what would their thought process be? Man, it's so interesting, like how much different, like I'm obviously very sheltered, but how much different things can be just one country over, or it blows my mind that like this here is great, but this somewhere else could kind of get me in trouble.
The date writing conundrum. So many visitors to the U.S. get really confused by the month, day, year thing, because most parts of the world write the day, then the month, then finally the year.
That messes with my brain.
There's no clear historical reason why the U.S. insists on writing the day differently, but we just do.
We're just hard to get along with.
Pre-baby baby showers. Many cultures celebrate a new baby coming into the world, but America is one of the few places that does this before the baby actually gets here. In East Asian countries, for instance, celebrations for a new baby are held once the baby is born, as doing otherwise is seen as bad luck. Number 6,
that makes
where
sense.
"how are you" means hello. Sure, people ask each other how they're doing in other countries, but Americans often use this phrase as a replacement for hey or hello.
Yeah, we don't want to know your life story.
It doesn't even require a real response. People just answer with fine thanks, even if they're in a horrible mood or had a terrible day.
Yeah, I work in retail, and this is a constant, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. And then, you just kind of move on. It's very rare that you ask someone, hey, how are you? And they say,
well, let me tell you about my day, because it's just not going so great.
You're like, oh my goodness, what kind of can of worms did I just open up? So, yeah, it's kind of interchangeable with, hey, how are you? I'm great. How are you? Great. And then we're done.
Number 5. Bathroom stalls that aren't so private. Don't like doing your business in front of complete strangers? Americans don't either, of course, but the fact that bathroom stall doors often reveal as much as your entire lower leg seems to say otherwise. There's no clear reason as to why there's this big gap in public bathroom stalls here, but many guess it's for safety reasons or ventilation. Just saying.
Well, not only that, but also the cracks sometimes in between like the actual structure and the door. If I can back up just a little bit. Yeah, so the crack there in between the piece to the left and the piece to the right and then the door, sometimes that crack is really gaping, almost to a concerning amount. It's so awkward sitting on the toilet and being able to see somebody outside of that crack washing their hands, because the general rule of thumb in like video games is if you can see someone can see you. I'm more concerned about that one than the one at the bottom. Let's fix that.
No one uses their inside voice. A lot of my friends who are visiting or moved to the U.S. tell me that locals speak so loud compared to other countries. Whether it's talking on your cell phone or chatting with a friend,
I guess we are kind of boisterous.
Americans seem to really like projecting their voice. I don't know. Maybe we just want to make sure we're heard.
Yeah.
Number 3. It's all about choices. Walk into any grocery store aisle and you'll notice at least 10 different options for cookies, crackers, or cereal. People in the UK don't have these many options for food, and you'll almost never find anything in grape flavor there.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times having discussions with David Newland, Mr. H, like, I'm trying something new over here, and really is what it considered to be a staple item of a certain snack or soda, and they've not only never tried it, but never heard of it. And so it would appear that we are definitely blessed with an array and variety of all things food related.
Number 2, hopping into the back seat of a cab. When getting into a cab, it's customary in the States to scoot on into the back seat. But in countries like New Zealand and Australia, riding anywhere but shotgun can be a little rude.
Oh, wow.
Number 1, that classic American smile. In the U.S., people aren't
That
afraid
guy's
to
really
be
smiling.
nice and show their pearly whites all the time. And according to a 2015 study at Brown University, because America has always been a very diverse country, it forced people to smile at each other more since they couldn't always communicate with
Interesting.
language. That's just one more historical theory as to why Americans tend to smile more than people in other places do.
And not only that, but I don't know if other places around the world have this traditional grin/smile, but if you're walking like down a long hallway, let's say at school or at work, and you happen to pass by somebody and you don't really feel like giving the "how are you," you just want to acknowledge them, but also let them know that it's a friendly interaction, a friendly passing. You give them this number here. Just kind of a nice little grin and a head nod, and the other person reciprocates, and you move on about your business.
Or maybe we're just, friendlier.
That's also interesting too, because when I talk to friends outside of America, they always say that people are so friendly over here. And although most of the people that I come into contact with are friendly, I guess if you live here, you kind of see more so of the side of people that are not friendly, which leads me to believe, or wonder what the general consensus of personalities is in places like the UK. But yeah, that seems to be a given when I talk to people outside of the US. So Americans are so friendly.
Change Americanisms to the list? Let me know down in the comments. If you learned something new today, then give this video a like, share it with a friend, and here are some more cool videos to check out from the bright side of life.
Hopefully you enjoyed today's reaction video of 21 things in the U.S. that puzzle most foreigners. Again, this video comes to us from the channel Brightside here on YouTube, so be sure to go check them out. And also, don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe as well. Let us know if you like these types of reaction videos, what kind of reaction videos you'd like to see us do going forward. Drop one of the links down in the comments below, or simply send us a private message. This has been Blanks No One Asked For, and certainly no one asked for this. But wait, there's more. Still got that itch for more Blanks No One Asked For? Click that bottom left video down there to see the content that YouTube thinks would be the best for you.